Hey folks, welcome to Comics Covered. I'm John and this is Matt. We're the co-founders of coverprice.com. I'm the CEO and Matt's the CCO of the company, and we've been doing it for 8 years, since 2016. And we've been live since 2018, but it took us a long time to get everything going. Today we're doing a fun show, I think, because it's basically an Ask Us Anything kind of show. Matt is joining us in a second. He is just finishing eating and he didn't want to be rude and scarf down in front of everybody. But yeah, so today's going to be interesting. So a couple ground rules to start. Be polite. We'll answer everything we can. If we can't answer it, don't.
And one thing, I kind of have a question for you guys, and maybe we'll tackle this at the end. What do you guys want to see from us? Because we're trying to think through things to add to our channel. We kind of weren't doing much with it a couple years ago. And then we brought back the top 10, the Shaker Show, back to our channel. We're just trying to figure out what we want to do the next. Like, would it be fun to see us digging through comics? Because my shop always has a lot of good dollar bins. And it would be fun to take you with me as I jump into those dollar bins. Because it would be, it might be fun to see my process. I don't know, how it goes with you guys, but my shop has really good dollar bins. Sometimes I'll just pull out a stack of books, and sometimes it's nothing. But I would just love to see what you guys want to see more from us on this channel.
When we're at conventions, it is actually really fun to see Matt do his thing, because he draws a crowd. I've never seen it. It's pretty good.
I guess we'll just jump into it.
Yeah,
sorry, if you didn't see your question, keep asking your question, and we'll it will come up to us. So we don't tackle it.
Before you do, though, Matt, what's the giveaway for today?
Oh, yeah. So this is a remnant from San Diego. So we just chatted with the Whatnot guys, Jack from Whatnot, and he gave us a couple packs of these Fantastic Four Whatnot packs. So there's 3 books in here. We have 3 books in here. So what I thought would be fun to do is open this up. So we'll give away the pack, and then we'll break it.
We'll do a break.
Yeah. So that's the caveat, is that we have to break it because I need to see what's in here. And
we're kind of curious. There should be some fun stuff, hopefully. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll give away the code to enter that at the end, per usual. But this is a fun one. I mean, that's 3 comics in one. These blind bags became pretty expensive, and there's some good stuff.
Well, there's apparently a pretty, Marvel doesn't do a lot of ultra rare books, and there's a blue foil that's limited to 100 for each of those books.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, why don't we? I'm going to scroll to the top of the chat and just go through the questions down. Just go down the list that way, or
yeah, let's all try to tackle it from the top. So let's see.
Okay, here we go. Rudy got in there right at the beginning. Kind of a fun question. I mean, I think it's more playful than serious, but would you rather sell your entire collection for 15 cents on the dollar from what you paid for it, or leave your entire collection to a family member who is so about comics?
Well, my wife said that she's getting rid of all my comics. Doesn't matter. She's not going to ask anything for them. She will just dump them off somewhere. So
at your funeral, I'm going to take your wife aside and be like, "Hey, so about Matt's comics. I know this is a sad moment, but
she would give them to you instantly.
I brought my truck."
Yeah.
I would rather give it to a family member, and then just because, I mean, realistically, the cover price that we say for a comic, if you were to sell them in bulk or sell them to somebody else, you're going to get it's not, unless you sell them one by one and really play each one. It's hard to actually get the value that it's worth. Right, Matt? You're typically going to get it for if a retailer came and said, "I'll buy all your."
Yeah, I mean, that's a good caveat we got to add to the site eventually, because some of the comments that we get from people who use this to price a collection, and then say they're selling a collection and they'll use our site for the first time, or price a comic for the first time, they'll go to our site, price everything at the near mint plus price of they have no idea what condition is or how to grade a comic, but they'll price it at the most expensive pricing. And so then they'll provide this crazy pricing, the highest amount that those books could possibly go for, and not what they actually sell for. So a lot of people don't they'll way overvalue the site and the collection, and then they'll want that exact amount for the collection. Which is, if you ever watch Pawn Stars, it's like that's never how it goes, right? It's like, I'll give you 30% of the value or 40%, or if it's something that they really want, they'll go up a little higher. But that's kind of one of the caveats. Like the price of your collection is really, if you sold everything individually with the condition that you say it is, then that's what you would get if you sold everything individually. But that's daunting. That's impossible.
So then your answer then, since your family doesn't value them, you'd sell them for 15 cents on the dollar?
No, I'd just give them away. I mean, it wouldn't matter. You're dead. It doesn't matter.
You could
but to that capacity, what I do, like there's a lot of books that I bought, when I started collecting, right? And a lot of books that were just, one of the things to do I recommend for like any new user is like go through dollar bins, 25-cent bins, pick out the books you like, get your attention, what you find interesting. That's how you really learn about condition. That's how you learn about values. That's how you look at, like, that's kind of how you sharpen your digging eyes of being able to recognize a splattering of books. It's just that exposure. So there's plenty of books that I grabbed when I started out that were not the best condition or not really worth anything. So there's a lot of books that I would say probably a quarter of my collection I would probably just give to my shop, like not expecting much. So like there's a need to like purge, right? And I don't know, sometimes it's not always about the money. Sometimes it's just about fine tuning.
Yeah, Matt has always been super generous with comics. Like if I ever came over and I was like, oh, that's cool, it's like, oh, you can have one. Of course he had like 5 of each one, but still always very generous and always handed out comics whenever someone wanted anything.
Well, it's changed how, like, I was really heavy into speculating in the 2014, 2015, which actually were pretty good years because you're talking about, Miles Morales just came out a few years before that. That was Spider-Gwen. That was Dr. Aphra. Like, I have all those books from those. That's crazy speculation time. But I really stepped away. Like, I haven't speculated on a book in a very long time. Just because it's like, that doesn't really interest me anymore. I really just have gone back to just buying covers and books that I like.
Yeah, I went through a phase too. I'd start buying covers just from the stuff we were putting into Cover Price without reading them. And I'm like, now I actually buy a lot more trade paperbacks because I really want to read the story. I really like that's what got me into comics.
But you want to read the comic?
Comics have words in them? Okay, another question from Rudy. Serious question. Who inspired you, Matt and John, to start Cover Price? I'll take the start of that one, I guess, Matt. So I've always loved like business and entrepreneurship. I'm the guy who, when I was traveling through Thailand, got suckered into buying $3,000 worth of blue sapphires, thinking I could sell them for 10 times more in the US when I was in my 20s. And that was a lot of money for me back then. Like 3,000 was just like, for anybody, it's a lot of money. I also am banned for life for selling on Amazon.com. Because when I was doing my grad program, I thought I'd start a business selling textbooks online. And I found an international shipper, like a drop shipper from like India. And he was like, yeah, we'll sell these to you. And they were like pennies on the dollar. Like a college textbook is like $200, $300. I could get it for like $20, sell it for $300. The margin was insane. And I sold it cheaper. However, I remember at one point I was like studying for a class and fulfilling orders. And I'm like, man, I'm making like $1,000 a week doing this. And then all of a sudden Amazon calls and was like, hey, we noticed that you have a very high return rate. But because my margins were so good, I was like, oh yeah, I'm buying international editions and selling them. And then I just sell them back to you guys. I just give them the money and let them keep the refund. It doesn't matter. And they're like, oh, or it's illegal to sell international books in America. You're banned for life. So I've always liked trying to make businesses work and figuring stuff out. And then I worked in digital for 15 to 17 years, building products for different companies like Kelley Blue Book. I worked for Oxfam in the UK. I've worked for like agencies. I was the VP of UX. So I've always saw digital businesses being made and worked with all the teams. And that's what just got me able to want to do Cover Price. How about you, Matt?
Wow, that was, yeah.
Yes, sorry.
For us, it's kind of, for me, it's kind of been a journey. I've always been interested in, I remember as a kid, walking into my shop and asking the guy, hey, what's going to be worth money? And the shop looked at the owner, was like, kid, if I knew that, I wouldn't be working here, And it's true. It's like, there's no way to know. And first, I was kind of drawn into the idea of comics being valuable. This is during the 90s boom. So what did I buy? Every single 90s book that hit that shelf. And then my joke is I bought Spawn for $20 as a kid. And that was probably the most expensive book I ever bought for probably a good 20 years. And then it took me like 30 years for me to get the value back, or 20 years.
And that's what you call investing.
Right. So for me, I've always been interested, but when I went into entertainment, I was working for a development company. I brought a lot of comic books to get looked at as potential movies. And this was during the time when the MCU wasn't even happening yet. And so no one took it seriously. I brought The Walking Dead in, I brought Umbrella Academy in, I brought there was pretty much everything that has been a show we brought in. Why the Last Man brought that in. But no one had, it was just, no one wanted to touch it. I remember handing The Walking Dead to a bunch of people, and no one wanted it. So I met a lot of people in the space, a lot of publishers, a lot of creatives. So when I left that job, we kind of, I missed that itch of that connection with comics because the new job didn't have that. And so when I was talking to John, the opportunity came up, hey, why don't we just, what about doing a price guide? And it was like, well, it's kind of like, kind of crazy. I don't think there's a need for it, but we're like, yeah, let's do it,
Well, well, Matt came over and was like, that NYX number 3 you have is worth like $1,000. And because Matt knew my collection better than I did back then, because I had stopped for a while. And he's like, yeah, it's where I'm like, really, which one is that? And he's like, the one with Logan's daughter clone and whatnot. And it just blew my mind. I'm like, something in my house is worth $1,000 and I didn't know about it. Like, that's crazy. It's crazy.
Well, a lot. The reason why we did it was because I was also, the job I had went to. The company I went to had a lot of trouble and ended up laying off my job and a whole bunch of other jobs. So I was out of work and I was like desperate for something and just trying to figure out what that next step was. And this came up and we're like, oh, this sounds fun. We should try this out because it's something to do, right? Mm-hmm. While I was looking for a regular job, and I ended up going back to Sony, but this took off faster than that was taken off. And it just, to the point where I was eventually just quit that job and did this full time.
Yeah.
As John did too. So it was something that was just, it's one of the, I've gone to like my kid's school and done a career day. I told him like, this job didn't even exist when I was a kid. Didn't even know that this job could be a thing. And to do it with my lifelong friend, it's kind of, it's a special thing. So it's one of those, you couldn't have imagined doing this. And it's literally, it's fun. I would do this. I'm doing this for fun.
Yeah.
While also working.
It's kind of the best job that we ever created. I mean, maybe that's the lesson, is like, if no one's going to do something for you, or you can't, just do it yourself. Just try. The one thing that kept happening, which was really cool, is when we launched it, I was thinking, okay, we don't have it's all organic growth. Like, we didn't have any funding at all. We tried, we went around, and it was just like, everyone wanted so much of the company.
Yeah, they're like, oh, it's a cute business.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, comics, neat. And we're like, no, it's bigger. It's going to be like a lot more stuff. Oh, okay. Well, we'll take like 50% for like $1,000. And it was so insane. And we're like, no, that's stupid. But yeah, it was just so cool to actually kind of create it and have it happen. And then literally the best advice is like, start your own job. And everyone, if you put a flag in the sand, people will be attracted to it. Because we had like our first round of people who worked for us were volunteers. And we're talking like, high-end, like professions that people were like, I don't like being a doctor all the time. I don't like being a lawyer all the time. I just like comic books. We're like, why would you want to volunteer for? We're just a little ragtag. It's just us. And
I
they're
mean,
like,
this is like 24/7 for me. It's like I do it for fun. I do it for a job. I do it while, it's literally an all day, everyday thing. My life is consumed by comics, but it's balanced by a family that hates comics. So that's the balance. Is that I never get to watch anything or not allowed to talk about it. So
all right, let's do Ethan had a question for convention lists. Can you implement a feature that allows to sort by newest added to the data set or database?
Yes. So there's one feature we talked about. It's kind of a bigger thing we've talked about of having a feature like that across the entire site. We do have it on our content page, so it does exist in some capacity. We just have to add it as it's. I say it's easy, but it's never easy.
That's one thing, that we learned.
Yeah, it's always one of those things where when we ask this question to our dev team, it'll either be like, oh, we could get this done today, or it's going to take 6 months. And I don't know if that's one of these, which one this falls into.
Well, it's also a matter of like, there's so many things in our pipeline that we're trying to get done.
Right.
We'll get to that in a second, but we could definitely add this, and maybe we'll do it before the next.
It's definitely possible, and we've talked about it. It's definitely something on our radar because, to your point, it's a little frustrating. If you look at the list on Wednesday, and then you want to see what's changed by Saturday, you want to see just the new stuff.
Yeah, you want to see the delta. That's cool. One thing that I do like that I was going to say might be a hack, but maybe it's not, is in the collection section, your collection section, you could actually say recently added to collection, right? So these are all the comics that I just recently added, and you'll see they're all like San Diego stuff. So we could probably do that in the comics.
Well, you're talking about the convention list, so
yeah, I was just saying we have that feature available elsewhere, so it might be easy to port over. We'll talk to the team and see, but thanks, Ethan. Yeah, it's a good idea.
But not even add stuff to this list, but just see what's popped up on the list that's new, that we added. That's new.
Yeah. Let's see. Another question from Rudy. A serious question again. These are very serious questions, Rudy. I don't know.
And Alex, thank you. You're awesome. Don't pay us anything. I appreciate it. I mean, we'll send this over to the guys that run our shows on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah, but no, appreciate it. Well, let's answer that one since you paid money. Yeah, if you want to get into the queue, pay us money.
Has Covr'D become your first source of income yet? No, we both quit our day jobs. I quit working for Sony 2022.
Yeah, so the way it kind of went down was Matt had a wife and family and kids and stuff, so it's harder to just be like,
and a mortgage.
And a mortgage. And I was single at the time, and I was like, I like taking chances and just being like, whatever.
You had no house, no debt, no loved ones.
Yeah, Jesus. Now I have a wife and a kid.
That's right. See, Cover Prices made your life better.
Cover Price provides. So the way it kind of went down was I just got so obsessed with like designing all the pages and doing all the UX part of it, which is like wireframes and testing everything and building it. And Matt and I would go through all the designs, and Matt would be like, "Oh, move that. That people won't care what that is," and this and that. So Matt's expertise went into the design work, and I quit in 2016. I literally was like, "F it," and then spent 2 years begging and borrowing and moved into a room. Like it's funny because it wasn't like that story of a startup, but it was just like that story of like, I don't want to go broke. I just want to go a little bit broke. Yeah. So I rented a room from my aunt and spent 2 years working with a dev team, begging and borrowing to make it happen. Yeah. And Matt the entire time was working after hours, like another 8 hours a day.
Oh, it was hell because we started building this in 2016. We launched in 2018. So from 2017 to 2022, it was working 2 jobs, about 95 hours a week. So like I would come home from my job, make dinner, sit down with the family, get kids in the bath, and then sit down about 9-10 o'clock, work till 3-4 in the morning, get up at 6:30, and then do it all again. That was a daily basis for about 5 years. Yeah. So I mean, it was, and that was hell. Like it did quite a number on like everything.
I mean, yeah, Matt's sleep got all messed up.
Oh, it's still messed up. And so there was a lot, and we didn't take a cent. Every dollar went back into the site. So we were definitely everything we did was like John sacrificed literally his job and his income, and
like, it was a good job. I was the VP of UX at a digital agency.
Yeah.
Like I was like, this is so stupid. What am I doing?
I mean, there was a lot of risk. I mean, but I will say a big testament to doing this with someone you trust and you have a close relationship with. Being what's the word I was looking at? It was in my head, and it
there's an accountability.
Being accountable, being accountable to another person definitely helped. Like I couldn't quit. No, quitting wasn't an option because you had done this big thing and quit your job and put money into it. Like, there was you couldn't quit. So the fact that, if it was just me, probably would have quit. If it was just you probably just would have quit. There was also so much that we both brought to the table. Like, I know this industry like the back of my hand, and John knew how to build a site. Those are two very important elements to, making this thing work.
We always joke it's the brain and the heart. Like the body won't work without either of those. And I agree. Like it's, I'm trying to think of like lessons learned and go into business with
Don't do it.
Go into business if you're going to do it with someone that you trust, because not only that, but like as money does come in and as like you start working your ass off and you're exhausted, get into business with someone that you can have serious, candid conversations with. And you know what I mean? Like otherwise, like you build resentment and stuff. Like, there's been a few times Matt and I have gotten in fights and stuff, but like, it's always been simple and it's always been like,
but it's like cranky fights. Like I'm just like I'm just done with like whatever's going on.
Yeah. I'm sure I could be a bit
usually like cranky fights. Like at the end of a convention, you're just like, I just don't want to talk to anyone anymore.
Yeah. One time I told Matt, I'm like, Matt, we're all going to this dinner and like we're meeting with other potential partners. Like this is an important dinner. And Matt was like, I'm digging for comics. And I was
I was talking to Marvel at the time.
Oh, okay,
at the Marvel, trying to talk to the Marvel. I was like, I'm working.
The dinner's been on the calendar. It's an important dinner for partners.
Yeah.
We rehash it right here.
No, I mean it's like spouse fights.
Yeah, it is. It is kind of spouse-like. Okay, serious question.
Like, I'm with my friends right now.
Okay. Let me
what was that? How do I sign up to be an alpha beta tester? We don't really do any beta testing. We kind of just create it, push it live, and it's done. Like there's not a lot of testing, or the site is done. Right now it's just kind of essentially fixing all the things we need to fix and correcting all the things. Yeah, it's like we're paying for all the technical debt that we started with, bootstrapping this thing at the very beginning. Now we're like fixing all those things. So if you see something that really frustrates you on the site, it frustrates us. We know about it. We feel the same things. There's so much that we want to get to, so much we want to fix. And we're moving through it. We're getting faster and faster at these things. We were painfully slow for a couple of years just because it was had to wait for money to come in to be able to pay someone to do these things.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand how expensive it is to run a site. It's like to run the site is very expensive.
The problem with digital is everyone expects it to work, and the moment it doesn't, they go, "Oh, it's not working, it's broken." And you're like, do you know how much effort and money and time went into making that one thing work 99% of the time, and you catch the 1%? It's like it's a thankless job in that sense. But at the same time, it's like we never stop working. We have full-time like team members, full-time developers, full-time project managers, full-time marketing people, full-time content people. We are always, this is our job. This is what we do every single day. And like, it's fun. It's definitely like we're talking about comics all day and doing stuff, but like we work our ass off to do what we can. And the pipeline, if we had maybe, another $1 million in funding or something like that, sure, we'd staff up a team, but then it'd get corporate and get weird. So it's like we want to keep it nice and small and nice and like doable. So Matt and I are literally on a first name basis with every single one on our team. And we have a very flat kind of company where we all talk with everybody. It's like, yeah.
All right. More questions. I don't think
I have some. Have you ever thought about having your own version of Mort of the Month?
Mort of the month.
I'm not sure. Is that like a Rick and Morty thing? Like a Matt's gonna do a quick Google search for that.
Yeah, what's Mort of the month? Each month we'll take a look at some of the not so spectacular characters throughout the comic world.
Oh,
Okay. So yeah, the biggest Mort. So late, crappy characters. I mean, you could. I mean, but a lot of those characters are some of my favorites. So even though we could. That's the thing. What kind of a question to you guys is what kind of content do you want to see? If that's something you want to see, we could look into that.
So I know we've been saying this for a while. It's literally been almost a year since we've been continuously working on rebuilding our database. We're about a month away from that getting done. This is going to give us the opportunity to really dive in and create stuff like that. So yeah, I think before the end of the year, we will have a lot more interesting lists and slicing and dicing. And at that point, we're actually going to do a survey and be like, guys, what do you want to see? How would you want to slice and dice this information? Do you want to see your favorite creators? Do you want to see the power sets that people have? Do you want to see villain versus, all that kind of stuff? So we'll be able to make this a lot more interesting and more like fan based rather than just the data of like what your comics are worth. Is kind of what we're going towards.
So Ethan had a good question. A lot of people are asking us this question on social media and directly on email. So yeah, it's a great question. What's going on with the My Comic Shop and Third Eye Comic Links?
So I'm sorry.
Go for it.
We have a lot of partner relationships with a lot of different companies, and a lot of people reach out to us and ask, if they can get on the website for different things. We've worked with My Comic Shop since we launched. Before we launched, I went down there and spoke to those guys and had a great conversation. But it's just, there's so many retailers and there's so many people who offer different things. What we've decided to do at this point is My Comic Shop has a great inventory for, if you haven't been, go to their website. They have great moderns, but also a lot of great like commission. They have
a very large back issue.
Issue, but what do you call it when you not commission, but when someone sells it for you?
Your commission, I guess.
Is it commission? Yeah, where you can put your comics up there and they'll sell it for you. And
so you can send it to them. You can send it to them and they'll list it for you. Yeah.
So the reason you'll see My Comic Shop for anything before 2010 and Third Eye for everything afterwards, because their inventory covers that. So we're just trying to give more variety of options. Plus there is, full transparency, there is an affiliate type thing relationship with both of the companies, all the companies on the site. So if you're a retailer and you're interested in getting your stuff on the site, if it's a good fit, if it's like, we have over 800,000 like comics in our database. And if you're like a retailer that's like, I want to sell my, comics through Cover Price, do you have all 800,000 comics in your inventory? Like it's not all comic shops have that. So
but in short, we have a lot of plans with that section, a lot of plans.
Yeah.
So this is something, it's kind of almost like a test of what we're doing. A lot of people are saying, bring back My Comic Shop. And, I don't know, it will happen to some degree. Where it could be available for everything, but right now we're kind of testing some things before the app goes live. Here was a good question.
Oh, sorry, I just skipped. You go ahead, Matt. Yep.
Can we get an update on the shoebox of comics that you showed off 2 weeks ago?
Oh yeah, of course.
Because a lot of people reached out and were like, I watched it again too, and it was crazy.
That saying, like, if I ever win the lottery, you'll never know, but there'll be signs.
Right.
You just see gold chains and stuff. No, actually, I'm still pricing them up, and I'm having a call with my wife's friend this week, I think on Wednesday, to tell her what she has. Like, I can't film it. She's not.
And you created a list, right?
Yeah, I have a list. I'll
ask her if you could record her voice, like, and see if she would be good sharing her reaction. Yeah, that'd be fun because you just went down through an Excel sheet and priced everything. Yeah, and then you're just giving her that sheet, right?
Well, I'm going to give her some advice and like how to do it, and I spoke to everybody on our team, and like it's I've never had to deal with like a very expensive book like that before, so it's kind of like, all right, like the cover's kind of coming off, there's chipping, and I don't even know what grade it is, but it's like, like what should you do? And this kind of plays into actually Kilted Corgi. Comic restoration, is it a good thing? Like, no. should we attempt that? I mean, if the cover is literally coming off,
no. Comic restoration is not a good thing. A lot of people. There was just a video I was watching where they were like, there was a 6.0 purple label restored and a 5.5 a 5.0 unrestored. They wanted like they were, I think maybe it was Comic Tom's channel, where it was they were looking at the book and they were trying to get the restoration removed, and some of it was like spots filled in with a Sharpie, and they said just cut it out. Like, I would rather have the pieces cut out of the book.
So why is it so controversial? I mean, like, again, I have never had to really
well
deal
because
with
it's you're replacing elements of the original book. People will rather have the original elements of the book. There's
what about cleaning versus restoration?
So cleaning, it depends on what type of cleaning you do. Some type of cleaning is just considered cleaning. It's not really restoration. Pressing is not considered technically restoration. It is just, anything when you add anytime you add something to a book, that's the restoration you don't want. Anything that enhances the book, whether you're removing grime or pressing it, or I think that's okay.
Okay. That's a nice thing to say, Rudy. Thanks. Comic Family is definitely way better off for having you both. Oh, he's gonna beat our egos.
I think Rudy said, Rudy actually had a suggestion he said for a video that he wanted to see was a member could send in either a 1 to 2 minute video clip shouting out their favorite LCS. We actually had an idea for that, which it's been on our kind of one of our things to do, which is to like have people take us to their local comic shop and just do kind of a walkthrough of their shops for like a quick 1 to 2 minute video. That is something we thought about, but it's one of those things. The problem is you got to collect those videos and do stuff with them. It's
yeah. Also, thanks, Awesome Sauce. That's nice. Honestly, I think the love that Matt and I have for this like stuff kind of comes through, and like we really do want to create like just a fun community.
I'm glad he said stuff like this. The love that John and I have.
There you go. And totally agree. Awesome Sauce. Nice to find a comic. Well, one thing that I think separates Cover Price from other places out there is we're not trying to be controversial in terms of like just throwing out dirt. We're not trying to. There's so much controversy and bullshit in the comic space and stuff. Our whole stance has always been like, we want to provide you guys with information. If it's sensational, sure, we'll mention it and talk about it. But we're not like here to dox somebody or to like get somebody, make someone cry. It's like, it's freaking comic books. Like, let's have fun. Let's talk about cool things. All the information out there about comic books is fascinating. So that's one thing that we always do. Just good, clean information. You guys do your own stuff if you want to, talk.
And at San Diego Comic-Con, a lot of people were talking about the tidal wave books, and that was a big topic, right? And John and I were talking about it, and this is what we told people there. This is what we've told people in chats. This is what we told publishers. If a book exists, it's our responsibility to add it to the site and track it. So if a book exists in some physical way, we're gonna add it. We're gonna track it. That's our responsibility as a price guide, as collection management. That's where it lies. So it's not our responsibility to monitor, rights and who's doing what and how they're doing. If a book exists, you bought it. We're gonna add it. It's gonna be in your collection.
Dan wants to know, how many books do you guys read per week? Do you guys have time?
It's weird. I jump around from stuff. Some weeks it might be nothing. Some weeks it might be a stack. Some weeks, it moves around a lot. I don't get to read as much as I used to. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's the sad part. We're surrounded by comics and we can't read them.
Yeah, I told Leftero, I was like, I can't remember the last Marvel book I've read. It's been a long time. And it's just because my interest really went to a lot of the independent stuff. That's kind of where there's nothing I have against them. My favorite characters are all Marvel characters. There's so many. I haven't been inspired to, except I don't know. This is a good point. Lando had B. Earl on last night, who's writing Ultimate Hawkeye, amongst plenty of other stuff. And he also had Taboo on of the Black Eyed Peas, who co-wrote that book. And Leftero's has been trying to get me to read all the Ultimate stuff for a while now, so that's something I need to get to.
Back in the day, Matt used to pour through, like if someone had a controversy about a key, he'd actually go read the comic books and be like,
"Oh, I still do that
on this page."
Yeah, we still do that. Like we just had a reflective 2 weeks ago. If Izzy's still here, Izzy just covered it last week, I think. Where a year ago we covered all the books that were trending because of when Robert Downey Jr. was announced to be Doctor Doom. He was announced to be Victor Von Doom, not Doctor Doom, but Victor Von Doom. And all these books that came out of like, here was the first time that Iron Man was Doom and Doom was Iron Man, and every single book was completely like not what people were calling it. Like they were like totally misleading and bad buys because they weren't first appearances of those characters at all. So I read every single one to make sure that I knew exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah. I have an 8-month-old baby who's very now going around, like literally, if anything, he's so strong. He grabs stuff and just is like whoosh. So I don't read anything around him, and then I'm working all day, and then nighttime I'm around the baby. So, but what I did do at San Diego is I got like some trades. I got the Old Guard. I never actually read it, but I like the show. And then I got a bunch of.
I read Old Guard. That's pretty good.
Yeah, right. And then I got some Hellboy stuff that I just like. So I'm gonna read those. And then East of West is I'm a big fan of. I really love that series. Stuff like that. Another question is, would you guys consider doing artist interviews and or spotlights on the website and YouTube?
Well, we actually have some. We have a section on the site. Actually, let's see. Maybe I can show.
I guess the question is, would you guys want to do that? Should we do that well?
I mean, so let's see if I can share my screen. Here we go. Entire screen. No, window. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so if you go to our content page, you can go here into a content page. There's actually a Cover Price Spotlight channel where we've done a bunch of these. A lot of them are just testing it out. So we did an interview with Jenny Frieson, did an interview with Matthew Rosenberg, did an interview with Stanford Green. So we have done a bunch, not a ton. These can be expensive to do because to hire a proper a reporter to do the interview and return the interview, these get expensive. So we haven't done a lot. Will we do more in the future? Absolutely, 100%. Definitely for YouTube, we definitely have. Like, I was kind of inspired by watching Lando's show last night, and it was apparently easy enough to get those guys on the show. And it did make the show so much more interesting. Not to take anything away from Lando, but it was interesting to hear like Taboo's point of like his journey into comics, right? Because you don't think of a celebrity or a music celebrity finding their way to comics, and that driving so much of their what drove them in their career. So it was just fun to hear that, and I was like, we should do more of these because it really is interesting content.
Yeah. Matt, what is the most unique book you've ever owned or sought out?
I buy really weird stuff.
You're a guy.
I have it's probably one of the worst books you would ever find. So I'm a big fan of Air books. Mission Impossible is one of my favorite ones because it has 2 panels in it that apparently the story goes there were a handful of newsstands that were sent to the UK of some preview copies. The direct editions had not been handed out, but they gave one to Tom Cruise to approve before they started releasing them. And Tom Cruise looked at these 2 panels and thought he looked too feminine in 2 of them. So he made them redraw them. And so they pulled them. They pulled the whole run. A lot of them didn't go to the printer yet, but they tossed the direct editions. And then the newsstands, there was about, I think, 400 or 500 that got out. And apparently there was only about 5 to 10 of the direct editions that made its way out. And so I had one. I actually bought it in the dollar bin. Found it was a direct edition Air. Got it graded by CBCS. It came back because at the time there were some issues with CGC. So I tried CBCS. That's when they decided to pivot to the Rivet label. So it's one of the worst labels in all of grading. So it's it's the only 9.8 between CBCS and CGC, and then it has the worst label, and it's a Rob Liefeld cover, and so it's a terrible cover. So it's like it's just this perfection of awfulness that I love so much. I mean that is probably one of my favorite books that I own, and I love actually the Rivet label because that label's so bad. That it just enhances it. It just makes it that much worse. But it is a really rare book. That's one of my favorite books.
That's a pretty cool combination of just like rarity, like the rare label, the rare book. I
just love the story behind
the celebrity aspect of it as well. You know,
I just love the story behind some of these recalled books. I love the lore of them. And kind of that's what I look for. I don't know. Man, there's so much I got to go through. I don't even know.
Yeah,
it's such a good question.
What about the? Do you own that one, the Alf one, where he's inappropriately?
The seal? No, I need a good copy of that. There was one, but I think did I move it? There's I don't know. I buy a lot of random stuff. I had the Lobo cover where he's dressed as Batman, the international one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's a cool one.
Yeah, I love that book too. Oh, here it is, right here.
Yeah,
this is one of my favorite books too.
Oh yeah, that is a cool one.
Yeah, that's just. And there's another. I have another international one where it's Lobo in a giant orgy. Oh,
you showed me that one before. That one's fun.
Yeah, I don't even know where that book went, but yeah, if I could find that one. I'm a video game collector. Cover. I have I like stuff like this. Like I like for reggae too.
Cover guy.
So, yeah. You know, I bought that one. When we write articles, I convince myself that I need to buy some of these things.
Yeah. There was a DuckTales or something where it was an NES thing, and I saw it in
I have a DuckTales. That guy's up and above. I have the San Diego Comic-Con DuckTales.
Yeah.
That I have that one, but it's not a great condition.
I like how you're somewhat organized with your pile of comics. You're like, oh, it's right here, and you're able to find it. You just know where everything is.
Well, it's kind of random. I shove stuff somewhere, and every now and then I go looking for a book, and I can't find it, and so then I was like, oh yeah, I have put that there. Yeah, if you ever want to see a stack, I could just randomly pull out a stack and see what's in it, because I do, for the most part, I do forget what's in some of these.
So Matt, here's a good question for you. Yeah. Lords of Brooklyn, BK for life. Why do you guys keep picking books no one has for your lists? I keep sending me
so what the whole point of that is to, when we're looking for books, one, we don't like to repeat ourselves. We really try not to. We make a point to not talk about books as much as, I mean, sometimes it's so funny because Mr. Longshort and I will pick the same books. I purposely try to pick out books that I don't think people are going to also do, but we just happen to always pick up the same books. But I look for books that I think are interesting. A book that will tell a story where you'll learn a lesson and will give you a fun book to look out for. So when you're digging for a book, the odds of finding some of these books are small, but it's such a fun treasure hunt when you do find them. And a lot of these books are not impossible. And the fact that you see so much of, like, we really haven't repeated ourselves too much over the past 6 years we've been doing this article. If you pay attention to, if you read every one, you have a vast array of really cool books to look for. So when we share these, it's not really to give you an O for. It's just just really interesting books that we saw moving in the aftermarket and that had an interesting story attached to it. An interesting first, something interesting about the inside of it. Maybe there's something interesting behind its creation. One of my favorite things to hear on that show, especially when the guys do it, is I've never seen this book before. Wow, this is pretty crazy. Like, I love hearing comments like that. So it's not really purposely to cause people not to have offers. A lot of those books I've never had before, but definitely is it. They're books that I would love to own. They're books that really get me curious and interested about it. So that's what that whole shaker list is for. And they're not. Most of them are not impossible. That's the thing. You can find them.
Yeah. Some comments on CLZ works in harmony with cover price. Yeah, so that was an interesting thing. Many years ago now, Alwyn and the CLZ team reached out to us and were like, hey, we'd like to, our relationship with the people who were providing prices didn't work out and they weren't doing a great job and there's some drama there. And they were like, hey, would you like to help us with sales? And we talked to them. We're like, how could this work? You know, they're kind of a competitor, kind of not. And to be honest, I mean, they just turned out to be such great partners and such great people that we, loved working with them. And so, yeah, I'm glad. Like, so for those of you who don't know, CLZ is kind of like the companion site, two separate companies. But if you have a CLZ membership and a Cover Price membership, you can use all of their inventory tracking, their image scanning and stuff like that to add comics, export them to Cover Price if you want to, and we can export Cover Price to CLZ. But then you'll get our pricing and everything, all the values on CLZ. So it's kind of like the best.
A lot of people think we're the same company. So,
Yeah, people try to be like, call our customer service.
Like, hey, this isn't working. Can you fix it? I'm like, yeah, that's not us.
They're over in Amsterdam, and Matt and I keep playing around with doing a business trip to Amsterdam to just to talk. One meeting just to go
now
out.
I'm trying to hunt for that Lobo cover because I gotta show that cover if I can.
Any other questions? Overall, I think that's just hunting.
Yeah, I gotta find it because I really want to show it up. It's
some stuff that we're going to be doing. Like I said, we are going to be sending out a survey in a month or so to you guys. And on that survey, I think we'll ask a question like, do you want to be a beta tester? And now that we're getting more organized, we just hired on a longtime contractor as a full-time position. Matt Day is now our director of operations, and he's just an amazing human being. One of the most data intensive persons or people I've ever met. He's just used to be a lawyer, used to be a product owner, and now he's just focusing on Cover Price. So he's going to whip us into shape, get stuff done faster.
That sounds sassy.
It's a sassy company. We like to have fun. So let's see. Tie in on CLZ. Rudy had a question again. I noticed that when I add a new book to my library, dollar values come up, but do you know if there are any plans for them to do like a self-value update feature? I mean, they're their own site. They a lot of times I think it's more of like you have to download it and send it to core and then upload your features and stuff like that. From a processing standpoint, I can tell you it's very, very, very hard to have everything updated without just automatically. If you notice, even in our collection section, we now have the Update Now button. And that's because we have 3.5 million people hitting pages each month, people hitting the site. And it's overwhelming. The system will just crash. So you have to there's certain tech restraints for that. Where do I sign up? Just go to covr'D.com. Yeah, you get a free trial for 5 days. So sign up.
All right, I'm not going to be able to find this cover, but it's such a cool cover.
Let's see. Yeah, actually, we're working on. So, David, any way to display missing issues from a series in your collection? Oh, you mean like you
want to see something pop up?
Yeah, stuff that you don't have in your collection. We played around with a lot of ideas. One was imagine going to clicking a series, and the ones you have are in color, and everything else is muted and black and white. We might be able to add a feature like that in the future. That would be fun for me. It's like helping you identify what run to go through. So yeah, we might do something like that in the future. Is there a value update feature? Well, if you go to your collection, the site itself is updated 4 to 6 times per day. It's every few hours we're just updating it with new sales. So it's as accurate as it's probably more accurate than any other comic price guide out there, to be honest. But if in the collection section, there is a button to update your values, because then it checks everything from the most recent in your collection.
So here's a random thing: the first U.S. appearance of Appleseed in a comic.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know you had that. Is it open? Does it open on the left side?
No.
Oh, okay. It looked like
it opens on the right. Yeah. Man, I can't find it. Oh well.
So for the beta program, Brooklyn, I'll send out a survey how they can do that. And then one of the questions would be like, would you like to be a beta tester? And then we'll just create a list. And once we get our act together, we'll be able to like send stuff to you guys. But I mean, beta testing is like a very mature thing to do. We're not a mature company, because it's just, like for the big features, we'll probably end up doing that. When the app is out, we'll probably start doing that.
Have you updated PSA sales in the site? So that was a question. We've been talking about that when we first heard PSA was going to launch. We started that conversation immediately. Unfortunately, like, we will add it to the site, but it's so attached to, or adding it is, there's so many connected strings to adding a new grading company. It does take a little bit of work. So we did add it. You can add it to your own collection. But in terms of adding those books right now, we have the sales. We've caught the sales. So they do exist on the back end. So the second we get them in, we'll start patching them back in. We'll start adding them. But yeah.
So Matt,
the quick answer is it's coming.
Yeah. And if you guys aren't watching Izzy's show on our channel, please do. He's fantastic. He does such a good job.
Click on Lando's. Watch the show from last night. It was a fantastic show. Really enjoyed it.
Hey Matt, what are we giving away tonight? I'll put the thing up.
We're doing this Whatnot blind pack for the Fantastic Four. So the Whatnot guys at San Diego Comic-Con gave us some of these packs. So we figured this would be fun to give away.
Yeah, so we're
gonna do a break. We'll actually open it up and break it.
Yeah, definitely enter this one, guys. So type in #blindbag into the comments. This could be how much? Yeah, I mean, this is probably a couple $100 pack of comics right here.
I haven't even checked.
Yeah. Oh, it's funny. I was Awesome Sauce. I was just talking to my wife about Toys R Us kid. Man, do you guys remember going down the aisles and like checking out He-Man and like G.I. Joe toys way back when? That was like heaven.
So these packs go for $60.
Okay. Did that drop a bit? I remember it was going for a lot more.
Well, I think the thing was there could already be a little bit of fatigue. I mean, honestly, these covers were okay. I think that's what held it back. But also, blind pack.
Yeah, they're fun. Since you showed your Appleseed, Chad wants to know what is the first Appleseed from, Matt? I have one from 1988.
Yeah, I need to look. Let me see. Appleseed. I'm pretty sure I don't even know if it's in the site yet, because I didn't actually add it to my collection.
Here, you want me to? Here, I'll share your screen so we're looking at your stuff.
Yeah, no, it's not in here. So here, let me. Where did I put it?
So I'll answer Awesome Sauce's thing while you're looking. Any chance of expanding and other comic book collectibles in the future? For example, Toon and promotional glasses. So
now I have no idea where I put it.
Yeah. As we continue to grow, I think there's so much to perfect within the comic book space. We don't want to like dilute ourselves. But as we continue to grow, we'll be looking at like adding other items, like taking our platform to other collectibles and things like that. That's definitely on the someday we'll get to that list, but definitely someday we'll get to that.
So this is 1988. It is an introductory guidebook. So this was like the preview book for the first issue. And it's got a self-contained story in it. It's got a little rundown of everything Appleseed inside. And then, yeah, probably about I don't know, 5 pages of story. Yeah.
All right.
Whoa, it's kind of adult material on the back too.
I don't think Toys R Us is in business anymore, Rudy. I think it's
No, they're. I thought they came back.
Really? I thought they were all done.
Yeah, no, I think they came back. I think someone bought them out. Yeah, Henchman says they still have one. Yeah, they bought them.
Izzy says there's one in Jersey. Yeah, over here they're all gone. But all right. Well, that's nice to know. I'm glad that what is the giraffe's name? Jeffrey, the giraffe, is still around.
Like every time I grab something, it's like something completely random. Like I'll show you. Like I have I don't know, these Nintendo Fun Clubs.
Oh, those are cool.
These are the predecessors to Nintendo Power.
Oh, jeez. All right.
Just random stuff. It's like random polls.
Lando says Toys R Us are alive in Canada. That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Canada still has everything.
Chad hates you, by the way. He says very impressive. Now he hates you.
Is it what's impressive?
That the comics you're showing and your Appleseed run.
Oh, I mean, one day if you want me to grab a stack, I could show you. Some stuff is impressive, some stuff is not.
Lando wants to see your Nintendo Power or whatever that you just showed was.
These were Nintendo Fun Clubs. So this was these are toasty. This is the second issue with Link. Yeah, so this is Zelda the Zelda 2 preview. And then this was
that's cool.
Wait. Volume 2. So this was issue 6, and then this was issue 7. So this was Sports 88.
Nice. Yeah. All right, we got 25 entries into the giveaway, and there's 48 people watching. Definitely get in here, people. We'll do it in about a minute.
This is they're talking about RC Pro-Am in this one. If you remember RC Pro.
Oh my God, yeah, that was great. Jeez, that was crazy. All right, let me share my screen and we'll do the drawing.
Yeah, Matt. Rudy says I seem to be putting together next week's shaker list. So I do not go through my collection and figure find books to talk about. There are books that I have been itching to talk about that I do own, but not because I want to own. But I'm just waiting for a big sale. Like for example, there's the first Matt Groening comic. A lot of people don't know what that is. And I did some research on that a couple years ago. And actually, I'll share my screen as people come up. But it's well,
I'm sharing this one. But hey, do you want to take over and share yours?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, go for it.
Do I need a?
No, I got you. There you go. It's just the yeah. Okay. Yeah, people, if you enjoy the content that we're doing, hit that like button, share, tell your friends about us, please. We always, every year we grow a little bit more, and it's because of you guys and people talking about us. We don't do a lot of marketing, which is probably a detriment.
So there are books like this where I want to talk about it. I'm waiting for a big sale to happen so I can talk about it. But this was the first Matt Groening comic, and inside of it's his first published work. And it has basically a prototype Bart Simpson in it. It isn't actually Bart Simpson. But the history behind this, there was Matt Groening first did his first published art was Life from Hell, and it was in a gourmet bath magazine from 78 and 79. And then he did a trade book version of Life is Hell, and then this was his first independent individual proper comic book. So this is his first published.
What is that on the cover?
It's some guy bending over. So this is his head, this is his shoulders, his arms, and he's his head is into the comic book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
it looks creepier than that, but
yeah, I mean this was an underground comic, for sure.
Wow. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't know about this, so I'm always itching to share stuff like that. Not because I own it, but because I just think it's cool. But we missed this sale back in February, so one day I'll bring that back up. But usually, for the most part, I'll come across a book, and a lot of the books that I get excited about are books that I've never seen before, and I get really excited about diving into those.
All right, let's do this giveaway. Here we go, guys. 3, 2, 1. You guys know the drill. If you win, reach out to me at john@covr'D.com and give me your shipping address and all that stuff, and we will send this out to you. Symbiote Prime.
Symbiote Prime. All right. So
well done. I don't think you've won before. That's fantastic.
I don't think so. Yeah.
What a great one to come in on.
So we're going to break this.
All right, Symbiote. Let's see what you got.
I'm actually not going to pull it because I have a feeling I'm not going to give it a good pull.
How are you going to open it with your teeth?
I know, just cut the top off.
Oh, okay.
Make sure not to cut the books, but
we were trying to open these live on the YouTube thing, and they kept breaking on us. So yeah, it's probably for the best. Matt knows Matt's a professional, guys. He knows what he's doing.
No, I really haven't. I haven't done many breaks before, just because I'm too cheap.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do.
You want to hold up the thing so they can see it coming out of the bag or whatever? Or you already pulled them out?
We have. This is what cover is this? This is the regular cover. So this is the La Roca Fantastic 451.
Oh, that's a cool cover.
And this is this is the trade dress. So there's 3,000 of these. So this is kind of like the common one of the pack. Then there is this one. So this one is
oh, cool. Like a kind of a steampunk Fantastic.
This is the Simonson Virgin, and there are 2,000 of these.
That's cool.
So this is a fun. This is Fantastic Four #1. And then what is this one? All right. So I gotta make sure not to touch this one too much. It's gonna show fingerprints. But this is the silver foil.
Oh, cool.
No, this is limited to 1,000. So this is a silver foil of that La Roca.
Oh, nice. Nice. The thing looks awesome in that.
Try not to touch it with fingerprints there. So,
yeah.
Yeah, so a pretty good set. And we'll do, I think we have one more. We'll do another one next week. So
yeah. So Symbiote Prime, reach out to me, John at JOHN.
These in bags and boards and
.com.
Send them on your way.
Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, please like, subscribe. Thank you guys. You guys, I mean, honestly, we didn't know how the Ask Us Anything was going to go, but you guys had a lot of great questions, and we're happy to, this is fun for us, and we really enjoy connecting with you guys and kind of sharing. Like, dude, we are in a cave all day long, and so it's nice to talk to other people, even digitally. It's kind of nice to actually see other humans. So thank you.
It is fun to talk about, despite everyone's like, oh, you're doing the show again? Come on.
Who says that?
the family. They're like, oh man.
Yeah. You're like, it's every Monday.
I know.
You're doing the show again.
And now the school stuff is going to be throwing a wrench into schedules, so that'll be fun. We'll have to figure that out.
So yeah, so next week I may be at a surprise location if I join the call. Otherwise, I'm sure Matt will have somebody else on or do it himself. Although by yourself, you said you didn't do so well.
No, yeah, that's right. It was a mess when I ran it by myself, but I had Lando on, so maybe I'll have Lando and he could run it, and I'll just be on as a guest on our own channel.
That's the talent. He doesn't like running the stuff.
That's right.
All right.
That'll be fun.
Any last words, Matty?
No.
Well, that was a last word. Again, thank you guys so much for supporting the channel, but also being members of Cover Price. We always have some new giveaways coming up. We've been trying to do one a month now, so you'll see that even more. It's a crime scene. Yeah, don't touch it, Matt. Wear gloves. But yeah, we're always doing fun stuff, guys. Check out the website if you're not a member. There's a 5-day free trial. But beside that, keep those comics covered, and thank you guys for asking some great questions.
Thanks, folks.